matter where life takes us, there's just no place like home. And for me, that's up here in the Northwoods of Minnesota. All right! I'm back up north with my dog to do some new things in a familiar place. Taking in a thunderstorm, doing some fishing, and tracking down the ruins of an old prisoner of war camp? I guess so. So join us for another adventure up north in paradise. This is Tiny Cabin Life. We're back at our cabin in the Northwoods of Minnesota. It's a rustic 2-room structure sitting on top of a hill overlooking this beautiful little lake. Surrounding our property is the Chippewa National Forest, one of the oldest national forests in the United States. At 660,000 acres, it's a vast wilderness full of not only natural beauty, but tons of history as well. And on this trip, we're going to be exploring a little bit of it all. Well, we're back at the family cabin after just an incredible road trip out west. And, as much as I love getting out into the mountains, there's really no place like home. And this cabin is certainly home to me. Got a lot of fun plans for the next day and a half up here. We're gonna get out on the trail and explore an area that I have wanted to check out for a very long time. I also brought up the fishing boat that my dad and I fixed up a couple years back, and so I'm planning to take that onto a small lake this afternoon and try to do some fishing. But first things first, I gotta eat some breakfast, and this avocado toast looks incredible. Now, believe it or not, this is my second time being at this cabin since we returned from Wyoming. Just last weekend, we came up here as a family to just spend some quality time and to take care of a few chores around the cabin. One of which was finally getting a lawnmower up here, and I'm happy to say that the outside here has never looked better. But this trip is all about fun, so let's get this adventure started. To start things off here, we're heading out on a hike to one of the more notable parts of this forest. It not only has tons of lakes and beautiful scenery, but also some rich history dating back to the early 1900s. I'm really excited to get out hiking here. Not only is there just a huge network of trails, but there's tons of lakes and plenty of backpacking sites as well. So on top of a nice stroll through the woods, we're gonna do some scouting and maybe come away with some cool destinations for the future. This is Suomi Hills, a beautiful, rugged, and secluded landscape here in the Chippewa National Forest. It's designated as a semi-primitive, non-motorized space in order to preserve its natural character, almost like a wilderness area. And so we'll be starting off our adventure here off-trail, trying to track down the ruins of an old civilian conservation corps camp turned prisoner of war camp during World War II. I know that it's somewhere in this general vicinity, but there's really not a whole lot of information directing you to where the ruins are. So we're gonna have to find them. Ooh. Looks like we got something right here. See that? That's some sort of concrete or stone left over from some sort of structure. This site here was definitely part of the old Day Lake Civilian Conservation Corps camp. It was built in the 1930s to put young men to work doing reforestation, road building, and trail construction. In fact, the men who lived and worked here are generally responsible for the trail system that we get to enjoy here today. The site that we're looking for is fascinating. This old chimney and fireplace, it should stand out like a sore thumb. Where do you think it is, Al? Man. Wait a minute, here we go. All right. This is the old fireplace and chimney from what used to be the mess hall. It's easily the most intact and recognizable ruin here at the Day Lake Camp. So the fireplace here was in the mess hall. So right here where we're standing, people would be enjoying their meals. And I have to imagine surrounding this fireplace right here in the wintertime, just taking in the warmth and the beautiful ambiance. Unless, of course, you were a prisoner, because believe it or not, this site was used as a prisoner of war camp in World War II. So you know those visitors were much less enthusiastic about being here. When this was a prisoner of war camp, German POWs were housed here and put to work cutting wood and aiding in other forest labor. And I gotta say, if you're gonna be a prisoner, you couldn't have picked a more beautiful spot to be. So we're on a trail now, and it feels real good, because bushwhacking here in Minnesota is kind of a nightmare. It's super thick, you know there's poison ivy in there, and the mosquitoes are just horrible. We're headed to a lake back here that looks absolutely beautiful. There appears to be a couple of islands, and it should just be an awesome place to take in the scenery and let Ellie swim and cool off a little bit. And as we approached the lake, I noticed that there was a little dispersed campsite right there along the shoreline. It seems like a really nice little spot, especially here in the summer or fall when vehicle access is allowed. There's a fire ring, picnic tables, and plenty of spots to set up a tent, or in our case, one of our cabins. The lake access is carry-in watercraft only, and you're placed in this channel, which makes its way out to the larger part of the lake. The rest of the lake is absolutely gorgeous. And it turns out there aren't really islands out there, but more so these peninsulas that sort of jet out into the middle of the bay. The lake is sunken in amongst the rolling hills here, and it really sort of makes you feel like you're in the mountains, which is certainly unique for this part of the country. Man, what a beautiful spot this is. I love how we're like protected back here from the main lake and the wind that would be coming off of that. But you still have access through these little channels, so you could make your way back there and do some fishing, paddling, swimming, whatever. But the icing on the cake to me is the dispersed campsite back there. I just love how hidden away it is back here, but it's also just connected to all of these lakes and such an awesome network of trails. And honestly, that's what I was kind of hoping to find coming out here, so it's definitely a mission accomplished. All right, everyone, we're gonna take a quick pause in the adventure so I can show you the brand new adventure wear that I've got going on this week. It's from Fabletics, the sponsor of this week's video, and I am loving it. So Fabletics was created to essentially make activewear look and feel good, and man, did they do a great job with that. They seriously have something for any type of situation you could be looking for, from high-intensity adventures to more relaxed outings, or even just hanging out in comfort at the end of a long day. What really stands out to me about their products is the fabric that's used and the attention to detail. Not only are all these clothes incredibly comfortable, but they function extremely well too. For example, these joggers that I'm wearing right now are not only lightweight, but they're extremely durable as well. The fabric here dries off very, very quickly if I either work up a sweat or if I'm just wading through the water here. And let's not forget these zip-up pockets. That is so important when I'm out on a hike. I have to say my favorite piece is easily this zip-up hooded jacket. Not only does it have that sweat-wicking material, it's incredibly lightweight. It also has the zip-up pockets, but the color, man, it just fits my personality so well. I'm absolutely loving it. Something else that really stands out about Fabletics to me is their VIP program. Signing up as a VIP gives you an amazing intro offer, 80% off their entire site. And you also save up to 50% daily. Each month, your membership gives you a credit for a 2-piece outfit or one product up to $100. And the membership is super flexible as well. You can skip any month that you'd like. Just let them know between the 1st and the 5th of that month and you won't be charged. Other VIP perks include monthly drops, early access to styles, VIP only sales, and free membership to the Fit app, which is a great bonus as well. And so if you're interested in Fabletics or the VIP program, you can follow the link in the description below and get 80% off the entire site when you sign up. And with that, I want to thank Fabletics for some awesome new gear and for sponsoring this video. As soon as we arrived back at the cabin, the blue skies had faded away and dark storm clouds had moved into the area. The second I got to the cabin here, these dark clouds moved into the area, and it looks like we're supposed to have some thunderstorms. My plan for the early evening here was to go out on the boat and do some fishing, but due to just the uncertainty of the weather here, I think we'll hold off on that till first thing tomorrow morning. Soon after we wrapped up the campfire, the storm finally reached the cabin. It was a fairly quick but intense little storm. And I'll tell you, I was grateful to not be dealing with this out on the lake. The storm faded away, and it was finally time to make some dinner. Dear God, thank you for a great day out here. Help us to be safe tonight and to get out fishing tomorrow. That would be a lot of fun. Amen. Well, I've got an absolutely massive meatball sub here. It looks absolutely delicious. Oh my gosh, this is so good. You've got meatballs, marinara, mozzarella cheese, and it's all on French bread. Oh, delicious. Man, is it beautiful out here. I just love how this deck just has us perched up over the lake. Well, I just want to give a quick toast to my dad. What an amazing place he left for us. After a little bit of quiet time in the cabin, it was finally time to get out on the lake and try to do some fishing. Well, we got the boat all hooked up and we should be ready to go. I'm pretty excited because we're headed to a small remote lake, which should be really, really beautiful, and hopefully we'll be the only ones out there. This is a great example of a small little lake here in the Chippewa National Forest. It's completely undeveloped and has a beautiful natural shoreline. Once again, the motor on this boat is having issues. Well, so this is what we're gonna do. I have my trolling motor. We're just gonna use that to kind of troll around and do some fishing. It's far from ideal, but at least we have a backup. Mark my words, next year, I'm getting myself a brand new motor. Whoa, got one on. Ha! Heck yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, I lost him in the weeds. Well, at least we know they're out there. I think I have a fish on. Come on. Yes, sir. Pike. All right, calm down, buddy. Calm down, buddy. Calm down. All right, a nice little pike here. That feels good. All right, well, we're on the board now. Just as I was about to cast out again, I noticed this swan swimming out from the shoreline. Trumpeter swans are absolutely beautiful, and I just love seeing them when we're out here.
Got one. Whoa! Okay, all right. It's a bass! Yeah! All right! That is a beautiful fish right there. Wow. All right, another beauty. Man, it feels good to be catching fish. Got one on. Whoa. Holy cow. Ooh, this is a big one. Oh! Wow! Now that's a respectable size fish right there. Heck yeah! Back in you go. Well, with that, I am more than satisfied. This is just so much fun. And to come away with a pike, a handful of bass, what more could you ask for?
Well, this turned out to be a pretty sweet trip. You know, originally I'd planned to get out on another hike this morning because I thought we'd be able to go fishing last night. But I guess things have a way of working themselves out. I couldn't think of a better place to be this morning than out on the lake. And so with that, I want to thank you all for coming with me on this adventure. Our family cabin here is truly a gift, and it's an honor to be able to share it with all of you. I want to give a special shout out to our patrons who generously donate to this channel. Thank you all so very much. But to all of you who watch, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, thank you. You're the reason that we get to go on these adventures on a weekly basis and share them with you. And it's something that I definitely do not take for granted, and it just means the world to me. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. But with that, it's time for me to pack out of here so I can get home and see the girls. We'll see you next week. God bless.